A new COVID testing site in Indio is offering vaccinations for the growing number of asylum seekers in the Coachella Valley. According to county officials, out of the more than 2,000 asylum seekers who have arrived in the county since March, about half have tested positive or needed a quarantine. I spoke today with the county's senior public information specialist, Shane Reichardt. Shane, first off, for people who are not familiar with this facility in Indio, what is it?
So this is a facility where when asylum seekers arrive from Customs and Border Protection, they are basically, in many areas of the country, they're released in the public. Riverside County decided to be proactive, and as soon as we learned that there were going to be asylum seekers released in Riverside County, we wanted to make sure that they were connected with services to be able to get them to their sponsors, their final destination, as efficiently as possible. With COVID, that added a degree of an additional step, if you will, where we wanted to make sure that the process was done as safely as possible. So we provided COVID testing and isolation and quarantine where necessary. After doing it for a little while and seeing the numbers continue to rise, we reached out to the state and asked the state for assistance. The state was able to source a facility, that is the one that's there in Indio, and set up so that they can start doing the testing themselves and helping to coordinate that isolation, quarantine, and as well as the transportation resources with community-based organizations, nonprofits, to be able to get people to their sponsors as quickly as possible.
Why do you think this location specifically was chosen in Indio, and how many people can it hold?
So first and foremost, it's not a shelter. So they're not staying at that facility. They're being processed through there, given their testing, and then depending on how the outcome of that test comes out, they're either coordinated with isolation and quarantine if they've been either positive or if they've been exposed, or they're transported to a nonprofit who helps get them to their sponsor location. The facility was chosen based on the Customs and Border Protection office that's there in Indio. So they already had a facility in Indio, and that was just the closest facility or closest location to the Customs and Border Patrol office, so that there's not a long transport from place to place.
Are vaccines also provided at this facility?
So yes, vaccines are available at that facility, and asylum seekers who arrive at that facility are presented with the opportunity to get vaccinated. It's obviously not mandatory, but it is something that we are working with the state to offer to asylum seekers.
I'm curious, if someone does test positive for coronavirus, are those numbers put with the county's numbers, or is that separate and not included with the rest of the general population?
So when there are positive COVID-19 results, those are not incorporated into Riverside counties. They're basically treated like a visitor or an out-of-county positive. So they don't impact our numbers. They don't impact our ability to reopen the tier that we're in. None of that impacts our local numbers.
Got it. And if someone is sick with COVID and needs to be treated, where are they taken? A local hospital?
When somebody does need medical treatment, they're provided services just like any other resident. They're connected with the local hospital or appropriate level of services.
Okay. What is the feedback that you're getting in response to this type of facility? Are people surprised to know that this is happening?
So we haven't got a ton of feedback just because the facility is fairly recent. It just opened last Thursday. There have been both positive and negative feedback. Most people understand that the Customs and Border Protection is going to be releasing these individuals regardless of whether or not Riverside County is involved. So our involvement is proactive to make sure that we're able to test them. If there's isolation and quarantine required, we get them in isolation and quarantine so that they're not out and about in our community trying to get to bus stations, airplanes, whatever is going to get them to their final destination. So overall, the vast majority of our responses have been positive. They understand that this is just something that not just Riverside County, other areas of the country are dealing with, and Riverside County is being proactive to make sure that both the asylum seekers and our community are safe.
How long do you anticipate that this will be there?
That I don't know. We anticipate that this is going to be going on for as long as we're seeing increased numbers at the border, and I haven't heard any estimates on when that's going to subside.
All right, Shane, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you very much.